Yeah,
So awesome. First off, how you doing? Fresh off that TBC appearance. What was that like in the bubble?
it was cool. It was different. The bubble, obviously, staying in the room for basically most of the day, getting your food delivered to you, not being able to go outside, get some fresh air. It was different, but it was similar to just being home because when this whole COVID thing hit, it was kind of like the same where you got to stay in your house, got to keep your distance, wear your mask when you go out. So it was pretty pretty interesting, but we did have a team room where guys can play video games, watch TV, play cards to just bond, build that way. So it wasn't as bad as some people have made it seem.
You've seen the stuff in the NBA with the so-called snitch hotline. Was there anything like that there?
Um, well, just like Jalen Rose mentioned yesterday, it's not snitching. It's more of a whistleblower where you have individuals who have a job to do to tell their bosses who left their room and who didn't leave their room. Especially when we first got there, there was we we can we had kind of like a mall. I'm sorry, we had a hall monitor where she was basically making sure that everybody kept their distance and people stayed in their room for the first 2 days during quarantine. So she did mention that some guys were out their room and stuff like that, but we didn't get in trouble. It was just, she was doing her job, so we didn't take it personal. It was just how it was.
So was there, what was it like getting back together with all the former Syracuse players, past and present?
It's always good to get back with those guys, young guys that I haven't played with and guys that I have played with. It's always good to just tell stories, talk about Coach Boeheim and I talk about the Big East versus the ACC. So we always have something to talk about. But the most that we talked about was how were we going to win the basketball game there in Columbus. Obviously, we didn't get the results that we wanted, but it was great to see those guys just talk about fatherhood, health, because everybody's getting older, and we always have that connection. So it was a good experience.
So you guys plan on being back next year?
Uh, I think Boeheim's Army is going to probably play next year. Yes.
Okay. I did want to bring you back though to your Syracuse career, and I kind of wanted to start with your recruitment. So, could you just talk a little bit about what brought you to Syracuse?
Well, I graduated. I'm sorry. I committed early. I committed as soon as I became a junior. I committed very, very early. Michael Hopkins, one of my great mentors, great friend, great coach, he recruited me very, very early, and I committed early. He convinced me that Syracuse was the best place to be, and it was. They recruit long, athletic guys that can run up and down the floor, that can shoot, that can get deflections on defense, and why not play in front of 30 million people and a Hall of Fame coach? So it was a no-brainer for me. It was out of Syracuse and Villanova at that point. Obviously, Coach Jay Wright runs a great program in Villanova, but Syracuse was the best choice for me. But it was a pretty smooth process. I had a great coach in high school who said, just get it over with, try to commit when you're ready. When you feel like you're ready, you commit. And I felt I was ready very, very early in my career in high school. So I just committed. But it was a fun journey.
So, when you started out, is there anything that Coach Boeheim says to the freshmen? Is there a message that he gives to you guys when you step foot on campus?
It all depends on who you are and what you can do and what you can't do.
Mm-hmm.
Based on those two things, that would determine how much he yells, if he yells, what he says to you. So I can't get too personal, but like I said, like it all depends on who you are and what you can and cannot do. That would determine if he says something to you. But Coach Boeheim is a great coach, Hall of Fame coach. He has taught me to be mentally tough because there were times when I didn't play, especially the first year. I sat my first 15 games on the bench, and you had to be mentally tough to get out of it. I'm sorry, I had to be mentally tough to get out of that hole that I was in, because if you're not strong mentally, if you don't work on your game, if you don't get better, come early, stay late, do everything possible to give yourself a chance to be successful, then you have no way of making it anywhere. So that's one of the things that I took for him, is just always being ready and prepare like it's your last game.
So you talk about always being ready and preparing, and it seems like you did that from your sophomore to your junior year. Can you describe the jump that you made, statistically, and then also just as a player overall?
Hard work. I didn't go home that summer. I stayed to train my body, but also train my mind. I I was working out probably twice a day, maybe three times a day. Sometimes in the weight room. Sometimes I'll run outside. Then the other hour I would be in the gym working on my game. So I just committed to what I wanted to do. I wanted to play basketball for a living at that time. So I had to do everything in my power to make sure that I did every action that I took. It was a step towards my goal on the basketball court. And I wanted to give myself a best chance to be successful. And I put my mind, my body in a type of situation where I'm ready for anything. And that's basically it. Just hard work, determination, dedication. And it's all about how bad you want it.
And then obviously it went even a step above to your senior season. So what was
Mhm.
the mentality going into that, final and fourth year at Syracuse?
Mama mentality. Kobe Bryant was my favorite player at the time, and I would just I would just try to model his mindset or the way he played, and or read every book or read every article. I would do all the things to be successful, and my mind was just focused. I It was my senior year, and I wanted to go out with a bang, and I wanted to prove all the doubters wrong. And from old teammates when I was younger to NBA scouts who didn't think I was good enough. So I had a lot to prove. I had a chip on my shoulder, and I wanted to prove it every single night. And that's what a professional does. And that's the only way I know how to do it, is to try to be my best and be professional.
So when you look at, your 4 years on the hill, is there any moment or game that really sticks out above the rest?
A couple people asked me this. I would say my last two games, my senior year, we played Georgetown. They were like top five, and we played another top five team. So we had two games, two games my senior year at home. And like I said, I'm a senior. I didn't want to lose. I didn't want to lose at home, especially on senior day. So I made sure I did everything in my power to make sure that I went out with a W. And in the beginning of my senior year, I had a great game against St. John's where I had my career high. I had like 17 points in a row. Against St. John's, I had 37 points. So those three games were probably my best performances. My best accomplishment is getting my degree.
So when you look at the Georgetown games you mentioned, and I know that a lot of people get caught up in the North Carolina Duke rivalries and all that, but that
Mhm.
Syracuse Georgetown rivalry is really one of the most historical ones of all
Yeah.
time. What's it like preparing for a game like that? I know it's got to be kind of mentally tolling.
You prepare by telling yourself we can't lose this game.
Yeah.
Because like you said, there's two Hall of Fame programs who built it from the bottom up, who have been rivals, who competed in the Big East tournament, who have had crazy games in the Dome or down in DC, two Hall of Fame coaches in the past. And your motto is you can feel the tension on campus. You can feel it from the news, and just everyone is pumping this game up. So so for me as a freshman, I didn't understand how big it was, but by the second time we played in the wintertime my freshman year, I knew that this game is very, very important. Like this game is like an NCAA game where this is bragging rights, this is culture, this is Big East basketball. So it's it's a great experience to be a part of, great history to be a part of.
Now that your career is over, you've played professionally and all of that, but you still are around the game. We talked about TBT, and now, I've seen you've gotten the new special advisory role with Cicero and with Syracuse. So can you just talk about what keeps you around the game of basketball throughout all these years? What really drives that love for the game?
Well, I'm not officially retired. I'm still
Mhm.
debating on if I want to play or not. But
No.
what drives me to be around the game? I love the game. The game is the game is life. The game teaches you how to be on time. It teaches you teamwork, how to work with others, how to believe in yourself, how to win, how to game is life, and it teaches you so many things that everyday people go through life, and now we're just doing it through basketball. So I love teaching the game. I love I love developing. I love showing. I love teaching a young man or woman to become a better athlete, to believe in themselves, because that's what coaches have done for me in my past. And I love talking about the game. That's why I got into broadcasting, because I love talking about it. I love giving a example. I love telling a story. I love relating to the audience. I love to give the audience something else to think about besides the regular typical analyst. I've been around basketball my whole life. I've played in 10 different countries, so I've seen a lot of basketball. I've been around a lot of different coaches, and I feel like my perspective is unique.
What's your favorite country that you've played in so far?
I have a lot. There's no favorite, but there are some places that I always want to visit. Again, it's Greece, Croatia. I even like Moscow, France, Italy. I've been fortunate to play in some big cities, so I would say every city that I played in, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
So, Demetris, I'll end with this. What is it about the Syracuse brand that just keeps you so connected and that keeps really the program as a whole the way that it is, as almost a blue blood program?
Well, it's Syracuse Nation, and we have fans everywhere. Like we have the biggest on-campus arena in the country. We have a Hall of Fame coach, uh, great communication school in Newhouse. So it's bigger than basketball. Syracuse is a brand. It's something that you want to be a part of, and I'm just happy that I made that decision my going into my junior year to commit to Syracuse, and because it's all about relationships and just meeting people, talking to people, learning, on and off the basketball court, just the small things in life. So and that's what Syracuse is about.
Awesome. Demetris, thank you for your time.
No problem, man.